day.
None whatsoever.
What's up, chat? We are live. Fluent Chill is back, except right now we have no Fluent. He may join us later on in today's show, but for now you got me and Jay, which is going to be a great show. Jay, how are you doing?
I'm running good, H. It is basketball season. It's kind of like it's a real thing, H. Going through withdrawal.
Yeah,
we're talking about that. Like, people don't realize that when this is something that's such an integral part of your life, when it's gone, like, you need it.
Yeah, dead inside.
I feel like what's going on? Like, I gotta make up stuff and I gotta talk about older stuff. When in reality, when basketball season comes back, it's like, okay, I'm good now. All right, I got my fix.
Yeah,
I'm ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
Like an energy drink. It's like, oh man, opening night. There's so many moments. We'll absolutely dig into every single team that we've seen play so far. But has there been a standout game so far to you?
A standout game so far to me, yeah. The Boston Celtics and the Knicks. That was a standout game for me. And the reason why that was a standout game, H, in particular, I saw some improvement in Jason Tatum's game. What I saw him playing in the mid-range a little bit more than I saw him on the long ball line. I know he's going to be on the long ball line, but I saw him playing in the mid-range, and I really dig that because I think that's going to expand his game. I think that's going to make him, and I think that's going to make the Boston Celtics even better.
Yeah.
A lot of people talking about the fact that they're real top-heavy. It's plenty of teams that's top-heavy, right? There's plenty. I mean, I watched the Denver Nuggets win the NBA championship with 8 guys.
Right.
So I'm not looking at the Boston Celtics going, yo, y'all need 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I'm not thinking about that right now. What I am going to say, though, is I don't think that they're done making moves. I think that at some point throughout the season, a lot of people are telling me that this team, well, they don't really have any assets. Well, I think there's people under the impression that they're looking for another star. I think that they're straight. I think that the dirty work people is what they're really needing, right? I think that another rebounder, somebody else in the post that they could possibly get to just to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
Tip-ins, another body for fouls, another rebounder, somebody like that. Because I think that they have plenty of guys, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, KP,
Drew.
The
best starting 6 or starting 5+
absolutely.
6 man, I think.
Derek White, Al Horford, those guys, and when you bring in guys like Peyton, like Peyton Pritchard, who I think is going to be a great rotation player. Yeah. I do. I think he's going to be a great rotation player. If you could get another dirty work guy in there, another 6'9", 6'10", I don't think that you need another guy to shoot the basketball because I think you got plenty of that. Whether it's in the rotation or it's in your starting 5, I think that you're looking for the other stuff.
You are. I mean, because you lost Brogdon, right? You saw what Brogdon put up in Portland last night. I mean, he is such a snag for any team. So you lose Brogdon, you lose Marcus Smart. So, yeah, those dirty work guys, you need to come in. And is there anyone on the market or will be that comes to mind that you think could fit into that? Or we just got to wait and see what they need?
I think more than anything, we got to wait and see because when I'm looking at what's going on in the dynamic of the NBA, a lot of teams have their team set. I got to be honest with you, H. I'm not out, but I think I was wrong about Deandre Ayton.
What do you mean?
I think that I was wrong about him. And the reason why I think that I was wrong about him is because I'm watching him yesterday in Portland, and I'm looking at how his motor is. And he was always that kind of player in Phoenix where when he got the basketball, he was going to play. When you involved him in the game early and often, he was going to play. But if you didn't involve him, he wouldn't do the other stuff. And I'm watching him, and he's not demanding the basketball. He would rebound. He did rebound last night, but it wasn't like I thought it was going to be.
No. What was it? 12? What was his line? Like 4, 12, and 7 or something?
4 points. I think he got 12 rebounds, but it was almost empty. Like those rebounds, he didn't really rim protect this much.
Right.
Hey, so I had I had DeAndre Ayton as an all-league defender this year. Now, again, what I don't want to do is I don't want to overreact to one game.
Right. Especially with that system. They're so young. They haven't ever played together. There's like 3 guys left, right? So, yeah, I'm more excited for Ayton this season than I have been in a long time. So I'm with you. I'm not counting him out quite yet. I think
I'm not saying I'm out, but I'm fearful that I might be wrong about him because I'm looking at his motor and I'm looking at how he gets going. And if he's not playing, if he's not involved in the offense, then he's not playing. A guy like Scoot, who I think people are wrong about H. I'm listening to people tell me that Scoot is not what we think he is, and we were all wrong about him. And I'm like, wait,
that's overreacting.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, man. The dude played one game, right?
It's his NBA debut.
I watched Chauncey Billups get traded 5 times. Right? I watched Chauncey Billups get traded 5 times. He got cut, as a matter of fact. Orlando cut him, right? Orlando told him to stay home. We good. So with that being said, I'm not out on Scoot because he just got started. I'm a little worried with Deandre Ayton because I'm looking for that toughness that I don't see. And I was a big fan of his coming out of college.
Right.
And I think that if they can involve him more and do more for him, but he has to be aggressive too, H. And I don't think he is.
Well, he's a vet on that team, right?
He is the vet.
He is the vet. Yeah.
Right. He is the vet.
I agree with you. And, we'll see more coming from him, but that system has a lot to work out. But I think you're absolutely right. And hopefully the coaching staff will really be working with him and in his ear and just trying to encourage him because that's a lot. It's a big move to leave a contending team to go to Portland. Like we've seen players kind of just fade away when they go there to teams like that. But I think he could rejuvenate this Blazer team. And I'm excited to go watch him in person. Him and Rob.
But H, where are we with Ayton? I mean, we're going into year 6 now. Like this isn't like year 2 or year 3. Yeah. We're going into year 6. So what I've seen from Ayton, this is probably who he is.
Yeah.
Whether it's a motor, whether it's heart, this is probably who this guy is. Now, maybe I'm gonna get a better season moving down the line. That could very well happen.
Yeah,
that could very well happen. But for the most part, he's probably a 18 to 8 between 18 and 20 a game guy with about what he could be a double guy. He could very well be that. That's probably who he is, like 18 and 10.
Yeah.
The question that I have though is how much longer do I have to wait for him to be what I think he can be?
Right.
Don't because understand, H. There's a difference between this is probably who you are in terms of what I should expect from you moving forward. But then there's the guy who, like Steph Curry. Steph Curry shows up in 2009. So we get to 2014. Steph is 24, 6. Okay, this is probably who Steph is. But later on, H, you getting 30 a game.
Yeah.
On 50, 40, 90, right? You're getting 26 a game on really good efficiency. So you're going to get better seasons. However, 24, 6, and 5, that's probably
his average, right? Yeah, like that's probably his average across the board. A little higher, but yeah.
That's probably who he is. Well, the thing I'm thinking about with Ayton is, all right, if Ayton is 18 and 11, let's just say that's probably who he is, H. Mm-hmm. When am I going to see 23 and 13? When am I going to see 24 and 11 in 2 blocks? Am I going to ever see that? Or am I just going to continuously see 18 and 10? Is that it?
Yeah. I don't know. I think this season is going to be my final season, and probably a lot of people's final season is summing him up. If he doesn't cross that barrier, then this is probably what we're going to get from him, which sucks. What a waste of, not a waste. He's a great player.
No, a waste, H. Let's call it what it is. He's the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Numero uno. He's the franchise player.
But that's so much more common than not. Number 1 draft picks are not always it. But I'm going to read the super chat. We'll get into the team. Double P threw out to us.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys. I'm tripping today. Double P, Warriors have lost 5 of their last 6 matches versus the Suns. The Lakers have lost 11 straight to the Clippers. Which Cali team wins first versus their rival?
Well, the matchup between the Warriors and the Suns, remember who they had. This was before KD showed up. So when they had Book, when they had Chris Paul, when they had Mikal Bridges, when they had Cam Johnson. So I'm on record saying this: Steph Curry struggles with length and athleticism, and Mikal Bridges gave him trouble. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to stop Steph Curry. I want to make sure that we clear on that. You're not going to stop Steph Curry, but you could give him trouble. So Mikal Bridges gave him trouble ultimately. And not only did he give him trouble, both Klay Thompson and Devin Booker, they have this budding rivalry. It's a friendly thing. It's not. Yeah. It's not something that's there's anything bitter or anything bad, any bad blood between them. It's just competition. which I'm really cool with that. With that being said, they've outplayed the Warriors primarily because with Mikal Bridges and with Devin Booker doing what he does, and with Klay Thompson not really being up to par. Now, this Phoenix team is a different team, H. Now, we're talking about a squad where the whole roster got flipped. Devin Booker, the only dude on that crew that was on the crew on 2021 when they went to the NBA Finals. Everybody else is gone, right? This Lakers against the Clippers, this isn't a rivalry.
No.
I was to be honest with you, I don't think it's a rivalry at all. I was so, and I'm on record saying it, H. When they in the 1920 season, when the Lakers won the NBA championship, I remember watching the playoffs, thinking not even the playoffs. I remember watching the regular season thinking, if they can avoid them dudes, I think they can win the whole thing. And they did avoid the Clippers because I hated that matchup, H.
Yeah, because it's their kryptonite. It's that one little and that's the Suns for the Warriors. I mean, it's not, and you're absolutely right. It's the matchup itself. The Warriors are the Suns, Phoenix puts up threes, but they're also, like you said, they were athletic. They still are. And honestly, I'll say this, I criticize their defense, and I'll still continue to do that. But it's not as bad as I thought. And shout out to Kogi, man. He's taking on that starting spot. Like, he's a whole new man. I mean, he had it, but he's really special. Love to see that. I hope it continues. But no, I mean, I didn't take too much from that. The Warriors, what did they shoot? Like 33%. Like it was terrible. They were terrible. I mean, KD was too. So I'm not saying they weren't great either, but they were able to pick up that pace, and it was a frustrating matchup. But
I think we gotta, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear this. I think we got to stop rating these players based on what they did years ago. Now, what I want to make sure that I'm clear on this, H. We rate players who are in their prime based on what they did in the past. Moving forward, that's where we get the best player in the world. That's where we get the All-NBA team. That's where we get all-league defensive team, stuff like that. But when you're talking about the older guys, like James, Kevin Durant, when you talk about guys like that, we got to stop rating these guys based on what they did 5 years ago.
Right.
There's a reason why I'm not going to say I hate to say this. I'm going to be honest. Okay. There's a reason why this chick isn't as fly anymore. You know why, H? Because she's getting older. She's getting older. That don't mean she whack. She's just getting older. Right. The younger chick, I can't hold her back because this chick in front of her, who is older, was a supermodel years ago. Right. She was a supermodel, but you don't walk the runway like you used to. You still fly. You just don't walk the runway like you used to.
No, Jay, that's what I felt like more than any season prior, or especially when it comes to like that big three of Steph, KD, LeBron. I feel so much new life, right? With Wemby, with Luka, with Tatum. The league is changing, and as much I love Steph so much. I love KD, love LeBron, and I'm appreciating these games, especially because we don't know how many more we're gonna have. Right. But these younger guys, I think we're gonna see some shifts, seeing Luka at the top of the top 10 players list, or Tatum at the top of those lists. I mean, even Brunson, Wemby, like these guys. We saw somebody mentioned Lively. Lively's a beast, and it's his first game. Like these rookies are coming in, Banchero, like so. It's a weird comfortability level, I guess. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We have to evaluate these players fairly. KD looked old. Steph looked good. Steph looked great, let's be honest. And LeBron looked great too. But yeah, we're going to see age play a big factor. And unfortunately for the Warriors, they are an old lineup, and they're going to have to get some young blood out there for sure. Yeah, so
absolutely, Age.
Okay, we'll read one more of these super chats. I'm just going to thank you guys for becoming members. Craig, Dame, Yaya.
Welcome to the show, guys.
RJ875, David Brown. Appreciate all of you. Ray, my goodness.
Welcome to the show.
White, it's good.
Welcome to the show, guys.
UIG. All right, you guys. Appreciate all of you. Just 211. Thank you for the super chat. Knicks lost by 4 with both their best players having a bad night. Is this a sign that New York is really good, or that the Celtics have a bigger issue at hand?
No, I think it's more of the former than it is the latter, because the Knicks and the Celtics go at it. They went at it last season. That's number one. Number two, the Celtics, what bigger issues do they have? They struggle against them. I mean, we're talking about this New York Knicks team is not a good team. They were a top 5 seed last year in the East. They had a good team last year, and they're coming back basically with the same crew. So I don't think that this is a situation where we got to look at the Celtics like, yo, you struggled against the Knicks. Wait a minute. The Knicks got a damn good team. Brunson was a borderline all-star. Julius Randle was an all-NBA performer last year. I think they have arguably the best backup 5-man in the league in Hartenstein. They have great dirty work guys. We saw what they did against Cleveland with Robinson, the way he handled Evan Mobley, who I love, by the way. We saw what they did. They got the best. I think they got the best rebounding guard in the league in Josh Howard. They have arguably the best rotation player in the game in Quigley. You saw what he did last night when he came off the bench, 24 points, just buckets. Now you add DiVincenzo to that, right? Yep. Grimes is getting better. This New York Knicks team is a really good team. So I'm not looking at them thinking, well, the Celtics should have handled them. No, the Celtics struggled with the Knicks last year with the same crew. So this isn't a situation where they should be better. No. This Celtics team is damn good, but this Knicks team is damn good too. I think they're going to be a top 5 seed again this year.
Something that, look, I know I do this a lot, so I'm sorry, you guys, but the officiating at the end of that game was a little crazy. It was a little crazy. Knicks had that in the bag, and I mean the Celtics deserved it and everything. And Porzingis, he was on fire. I mean, he's an offensive weapon. I'm not a Porzingis fan. I want to ask how you feel about Porzingis too. I just remember the days I was thinking about. I think it was 2020 or 2021, and the Warriors were always playing we played the Mavs so many times when it was Porzingis and Luka, and they were just they just frustrated me. But tell me about Porzingis, because with his history, he gets injured quite easily. And if Porzingis is out of that lineup, what are the Celtics looking at? If he gets a serious injury, they sacrifice a lot to get him, and that's one of my biggest worries. As of right now, they look great. But if that's something that comes up, would they still be able to kind of band together and get it done with Tatum and Brown?
I'm not really sure that he's going to get injured like that, because I think that they use him in the role that they use him where he's the most effective. Now, we talk about KP like he wasn't a 20-8 guy in New York. We talk about KP like he wasn't top 5 in the league last year in points on the box. So he gets buckets. He rim protects. He does everything that the Celtics need on both the offensive and defensive end of the floor. Everything that they need. Now, what you asked about, H, when you're talking about whether a guy, if he suffers a major injury, well, damn, I could say that about what happens if Steph breaks his hand again? Guess what happens to the Warriors? They might be in the lottery again, right? You know what I mean? So, I mean, if a major part of the crew is out, they're going to struggle. But I don't foresee that happening with the Celtics. I think he's everything that they were looking for. Now you have that guy that, one, you could go to the block, you can go to him on the box for buckets. That's number one. Number two, he's gonna rim protect. You saw that last night. I think he had 4 blocks. He can also sit in the middle of the zone, which the Boston Celtics struggled with last year when they were playing against zone. They played against the Miami Heat. Now you got a big guy who can also stretch the defense because he shoots the long ball, dragging Hartenstein, dragging Robinson out of the paint, where he can crack the long ball and making things more difficult for the defense. So I think he's perfect for what they're doing, H, to be honest with you. I do.
Yeah. No criticism for them. I think I like the direction they're going. A couple other questions and then we'll move on to a different game. But 2 things I noticed, these were definitely not like, they're not related to stats or anything. But did you see there's a little like beef between Drew and Tatum? Not beef, but like there is some like little quirks and like looks and stuff. Did you see that? And do you know what that's about? Do you think Drew's uncomfortable being on the Celtics? Like he's salty?
Well, I just got the job, H. I mean, I just started working here. So, and not only did I just start working here, I'm replacing the guy who was here for as long as all of you dudes been here.
Right.
So I'm taking over his job. So there's a trust issue that we now have to that we now have. These dudes got to trust me. I got to win their trust because the dude who was here before, he was their vocal leader. He was their emotional leader. Yes. I do some of the same stuff that he does. The difference is that I'm not with you guys like he was. So I'm not quote unquote one of the guys.
You're just major competitors. So going from like the 2 top teams to now being on that team,
I'm on your crew now.
Like what's a person to relate that to? Like that's just so I don't even know.
A prime example would be KD going to the Warriors.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true. That's 100% true.
KD jumping up. Yeah, just in the Western Conference Championship, and then KD jumps on the Warriors. This is not just going to be smooth sailing. We got to get acclimated to this dude because we just was rocking against you. Don't get me wrong. We do need you, and there still is a trust factor that we do need you, and we're going to be better with you. But there's still a trust factor that we don't have for you because you knew, and we was just competitors against you. So, with that being said, him and Drew. Jason Tatum and Drew, I don't think that it's an issue more than it is. It's just going to take time for us to get acclimated to each other. Because again, I'm learning the system. I'm learning how you guys play with each other. Jason Tatum, who by the way was under Marcus Smart as that leader. Now that Marcus Smart is gone, there's the question of leadership. Well, just so you guys know, I mean, I was paying attention all the time that he was here. So the fact that he's gone, I mean, I can do it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the leader that he is, but I was paying attention and I can do what he did. So this isn't a situation where, I'm just completely clueless to this. No. And it's a new year. He looks more mature. He looks a little older in a good way. So now when I get with Drew Holiday, who's now taking his job, there's going to be a little bit, there's going to be a little bit of a shift. And just a little bit of friction, but I think we can work it out because we all here for the same thing. It's not like, this is your team, this is my team. No, we got you on the crew to win it. That's what we're here for.
Right. Yeah, it's just going to be an interesting transition, I guess, to see. But I think overall, Celtics, they look dominant for sure.
Yes.
Okay, the next team I want to talk about is the Lakers. They obviously lost, and that's common, right? Typically, we'll see the reigning championship win their first game of the season. So, talk to me about what you saw. Some players that, at least to me, fell short a bit was AD, and of course, the media tore him apart. I've been pretty hard on AD personally, and I've explained myself multiple times, but this is exactly why we see same thing, the motor, we don't see that all the time. I think for the Lakers, this game was important, especially the way they spoke over the offseason. But man, the Nuggets as well, they just look, anybody worried that Bruce Brown missing was going to impact them? Nah, this is the best team in the league. I don't care. I think they're better than the Celtics. And instead of getting rid of their whole team like Phoenix did, they kept their whole team for the most part and added even more pieces. And so, talk to me about that game.
One of the things that we don't talk about is the Denver Nuggets core, Joker, Aaron Gordon, let's see, MPJ, Jamal Murray, who else am I thinking about? KPC. Yeah. This crew, in terms of a core, they still got 2 more years left on their deal in addition to what they did last year. So these guys are going to be together. These guys are going to be together for a while, right? Yeah. So when you have that kind of continuity, this is what it looks like. Yeah. Now, a lot of people have an issue with the way the Lakers played and the way Anthony Davis played. Well, let's be clear about one thing. That's the best team in the Western Conference right now. I'm a Boston guy. I think Boston is going to win the NBA championship. However, when I watch that Denver team, there aren't many guys, H, that I've seen throughout the course of my life that I can say when they get the basketball, I feel like something good is going to happen every time they touch the basketball. I feel like that with Joker. I feel like every time Joker gets the ball, something good is going to happen.
I feel safe when
I do.
I
just feel like something good is going to happen with him. And if you watch the crew that he's on, they play with an immense amount of confidence. The reason why they play with that kind of confidence, because number one, I know I'm going to get a good look. It's not like he gets the ball on the block and we just stand around and we watch it. That offense, the way that offense is ran, whether it's a pin down or down screen, whether it's cross action, whether it's a dribble handoff, there's always action going on. And as long as there's action going on, he's going to find me and I'm going to get something good. So that gives me an immense amount of confidence to play within that offense. Plus, when I'm playing in that offense and I know that I'm going to get something good, what that does is that makes me want to play defense even more. Right. Because I know that offensively, I'm going to be looked for. So that just gives me even more of an incentive to be on the defensive end of the floor. A lot of people talk about Anthony Davis, about how he's quote unquote soft or, You know what, H? If we can be honest for a second, why is it a bad thing if the other guy is just better than you? The other guy is just better. It's not like AD. It's not like you get in the ring with somebody and you get beat up, you soft. No, I'm not soft. This other guy was just better than me, and he beat me up. When I watch Anthony Davis go up against Joker, he gets beat up. He gets out physical. That doesn't mean that he's soft. Let me tell you why, H. Because I'm almost positive that I'm gonna watch AD go 30 and 19 tonight.
It's every other night.
I'm almost certain that that's gonna happen. And with that being said, he'll do that. Not against. I'm not saying that he'll do that against everybody else but Joker, because he did have a 40 and 20 game against Joker. But it's obvious that this dude is better than him.
Yes.
And if they can, and I'm going to be honest, if they can avoid Denver, I think they got a real good shot in the Western Conference. But I don't think they can beat Denver. I do not think that they can beat Denver. No.
Who do you think from what you've seen so far would be the best matchup for Denver? Have the best chances? I think Denver has the best chances out of all, but is there anyone you think?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna go back to what Bruce Brown said. That Minnesota team gave them trouble.
True.
Every last one of those games that they were in were dog fights.
I love that. I agree. Just because like the actual individual matchups are so well paired compared to, I mean, like the Suns, the Warriors, even Mavs. We love to shoot. We love to shoot. Who is the best defense and big bodies on that floor? Gobert on that team. I think that's they could if they take a leap, they might be able to do some damage.
Every last one of those games that they played were dog fights. Well, don't forget, no Naz Reid on the floor, no Jaden McDaniels on the floor. But now those guys are healthy. I think that they could give Denver a run for their money. That when we're talking about a matchup, there's teams that have bad matchups. This is a bad matchup for the Lakers. Not only is it a bad matchup for the Lakers, I also watch them offensively, and the most effective they were, when they actually were moving. When I saw dribble handoffs, right? When I saw them in transition. When they weren't getting anything was when Anthony Davis got the ball on the block and you had four guys standing around watching. That's not difficult to guard.
Frustrating to watch.
That is not difficult to guard. That is stagnant. If we're gonna stand around and watch, you're letting the defense off the hook, and that's all they're doing. Don't get me wrong, H. You have to be aggressive on the block, especially if you're a big. You have to be in that position where if I go to you, I can get a bucket from you, and I can get a bucket quick. But what can't happen is if we go to Joker on the block, there is no standing around. That's not going on. If you go to Giannis in the mid post, there is no standing around. There's action going on. So that has to happen. I see the same thing offensively with the Lakers that I saw last year when they're going through AD. Now, don't get me wrong, H. I said that this team is going to go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. I don't think that in terms of injuries, I don't think I'm going to see that as much this season as I saw it last season. But I will say that this season, I think that in order for them to get to where they're trying to go, he definitely needs to be more aggressive offensively. I mean, he went 0 for 6 in the second half. 0 for 6. Not only did he go 0 for 6 in the second half, he got his first rebound with 3:20 in the second quarter. That was his first board. That's largely due to, and again, I get roasted for this. Yo, Chilltown, you letting him off the hook. The other guy is just better, and that's how I see it. I just see that the other guy is better. You can put as much effort, and it's not like Anthony Davis isn't putting in the effort. He's getting beat up. He's getting beat up.
But it does okay. The thing is, if we're gonna hold like players, how you talk about Ayton or these other players, like we need to hold AD to that same level. But the thing is, you're also right when we talk about AD like we did from 2020. We need to talk about him with everything that's gone on since. And, the Lakers did a good job fleshing out this, their starting lineup, their bench. They've done a great job. I just don't see Anthony Davis being the number one on any team. And if you think that's the only way that this Laker team's going to win with him being the best player on the team, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see that happening, honestly.
I got to see it, H. I do. And I just know that on a championship team, the alpha on that team, he walks different. He talks different. He carries himself different.
LeBron. It's still LeBron. It's always going to be LeBron.
He's the Giannis, Joker, right? Bryant, James, Jordan, you see that dude, he's a little bit different.
Yep.
He's just different than what he was than the rest of these dudes. And can Anthony Davis be that? Until he is that, I'm not sure that he can do it. I have to see it, H. I do. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I just need to see it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen him go 35 and 20. I've seen him go 33 and 19. I've seen him put 40 and 20 on Giannis. I've seen him do that.
Me too.
I've seen him take over a playoff series. I watched him dominate the Portland Trailblazers in 2018. I watched him dominate in the playoffs in 2020. I've seen him do that. The question is can you move from that in terms of being a complimentary player to being the guy? Can you do that? Do you have that in you? I ain't talking about from a skill standpoint, because it's obvious that you got the skills to do it. Can you do it from this standpoint? Do you have the stones to do it?
Yeah. I mean, I guess to his credit as well, like, I mean, even with Clay and I think a lot of guys that get severe injuries, like your confidence is shook. And I think there's always that fear of like, what if, but he has to move past that if they want a chance. Last thing on the Lakers, you know how I feel about the contract curse, right? Where I'm like, okay, Jordan Poole, for example, gets paid the big money. And then we see kind of a depletion in their stats and points. How do you feel about Austin Reeves? Are you worried at all, or is that just a rough game one?
I'm not worried at all. Again, they were going up against the defending NBA champions with the best player on the planet. And he actually did the other stuff, right? He did the other stuff that was important for them to win. I think he had 8 rebounds. So he does the other stuff. Now they're going to get him more involved in the offense because that's where his bread is buttered. Yeah. No question about that. And we saw him over the summer in the international game. He looked like a liability defensively. And that's going to translate to the NBA, where we've talked about this in the past. There's no hiding guys like this. What we have to do is we have to protect him. What we have to do is we have to keep him away from any mismatches that are going to be detrimental to us. Right. With that being said, he's still going to be able to do the other stuff, shoot the basketball at a high level, be able to play in transition, and he looks like he could also be a pretty good dirty work guy. So I think I'm not overreacting to the Denver Nuggets, the NBA champions. I'm not just
surprised there.
Right. I'm not overreacting to that. No.
Yeah. But I still see them as the best team, man. They just look so good. I really like the Nuggets. They get a lot of hate and discredit, but I think they might just repeat this season. I'm not even gonna lie, but we'll see what happens. So I just was gonna check Twitter really quick. Chat, you guys let us know too if there's any updates. But
I will tell you this, H, real quick.
Yeah.
You just said it, and I'm going on record today, October 26, 2023. If they win it this year, they winning it again next year too.
I agree. First three-peat since what?
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going on record saying
why do I think that they can do it?
If they win it this year, they winning it again next year too.
I respect that. I think it's highly likely, especially like you said, the core. They got that same core for 2 more years. Let's get it done. Why not? Okay, so I guess we need to touch on this last team, Spurs versus Mavs. Anything you want to say about that? We saw Wemby's debut, and obviously there's another center, I want to ask you about as well. But what did you think from what you've seen? And by the way, the Spurs are the one team that knocked the Warriors out in preseason, so I already got to see a little bit of them. Mm-hmm. This crew is crazy. They're just an athletic bunch of guys. There are some moments where I said, give Wemby the ball more. He's open. Some of them are a little bit of ball hogs, and that's okay. They'll figure it out over time. But did anything stick out to you as far as the Spurs and Mavs last night?
Yes, Wemby stuck out to me. That's who stuck out to me. Yes, that's who stuck out to me the most. I'm looking at a guy who he got in early foul trouble, and that's just going to be a transition for him, right? Yeah. That's going to be a guy who I'm still trying to figure out the pro game, and I'm still trying to figure out the ins and outs of it, how this whole thing works, right? I'm still trying to figure that all out. Yeah. With that being said, that didn't deter him from still being effective. He still was effective in that game. And I watched I'm watching the Spurs, and maybe I have to pay more attention to them because they were a very difficult watch last year. They were. But
I watched like maybe 5.
Yeah,
maybe.
they were a very difficult watch last year, H.
Yeah.
But this team, maybe I'm downgrading them and not recognizing how good they are. I mean, Zach Collins, he was the dirty work guy. He was the rim protector in Portland when they had Dame, right? He was their rim protector. They didn't have that, but they had him. He wasn't bad. Stokan, he's actually really good in terms of being a dirty work guy. Keldon Johnson's one of the better young forwards in the game. I got to start paying more attention to Vassell. I really do.
So good.
I got to start paying more attention to him, and I think that I will. They got some really good minutes last night from Osman. I don't know if you guys remember, Osman was in Cleveland. He was on that NBA Finals team in 2018 with James. They got some really good minutes out of him. So I got to start paying more attention to them. I'm not in love with the offense, H. What I mean when I say that I'm not loving the offense is I don't like Wemby camped out on the long ball line. I don't love that. And the reason why I don't love that is because I think that takes away a lot from who he is overall offensively. If you just got this guy, if you got this guy on the long ball line, well, one, him diving to the basket, that's going to attract the defense. So now you're taking away from his ability to pass. You're taking away his ability to play make. You're taking away his ability to score at the rim. When you got action, which is what the Spurs are notorious for, they're not one of these teams that just plant guys on the long ball line. No, they move the basketball and they move people. So I think that that's something that has to change. That's a dynamic that has to change. But I dug Wemby's poise. I dug the fact that he got in foul trouble and he didn't let that affect him, unlike Deandre Ayton. He did not let that affect him. In fact, he got back in the game and he was effective.
Yeah, dropped like 9 points or something, right?
Yes, he did. I'd like to see him rebound a little bit more because his ability to rebound, I think that's got to improve if they're going to improve. His ability to shoot the long ball, we've already seen that. But I don't love the offense, but I think that's going to change. And it's just one game. Luka Doncic, on the other hand, Luka gives me, as much as I criticize him defensively, Luka gives me this like check day vibe. What I mean when I say check day vibe is like the money's coming. Relax. Don't worry. I mean, I know you worried that the refrigerator's empty and the light bill is the money's coming. Don't worry. And Luka gives me that vibe that I'll get going. Don't worry. And I might not get going right away, but just give me a second. I'll get when I get going, don't worry. Once I get going, you're not gonna have a problem with whether you're gonna get an open shot, whether I'm gonna get an open shot, what our offense being effective. Once I get going, and by the way, it's not gonna take long for me to get going either. Don't think that it's gonna. I'm not gonna get going until like the third. No. I'll get going. Just give me a second.
End of the second.
And once he gets going, everybody else just feeds off of that. Kyrie Irving fed off of that, right? Everybody else, Grant Williams being the pickup that he was, I was in favor of that. And the reason why I was in favor of that, because I think that he gave them that perimeter defense that they lost from Bullock and Finney-Smith. They didn't get it all back. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that they got it all back, but they did get some of it back with him. And I think he fits with what they're doing. 100%, I think he fits with what they're doing. I still think that they're a play-in team because I think that the Western Conference is stacked. I think this kid Lively, I think they got a gem in him, and he looks like a rim runner. He looks like a rim protector. He looks like he could be a better version of. He looks like he could do everything that Dwight Howard was supposed to do. Everything that Dwight Howard was supposed to do, he looks like he's gonna be able to do that. That's why they have him.
Yeah. No, I agree. Lively was so much fun to watch. He brought new life, new energy. The Mavs still look, they're better than I think they're going to win a bunch of games. I think hopefully they'll make some moves at the trade deadline and it'll help them progress if they do make it to the playoffs. But no, they've got a good thing going and I miss watching them for sure. So
I do believe that.
Yeah. So Philly versus Bucks is happening, which we love to see. And certain man did there's just been a lot of drama, right, with James Harden. It's a saga that continues to get longer and longer and more awkward and just there's just I can't keep up with it, to be honest. But what are with the new things that have kind of happened over the last week are you expecting? We heard that the Clippers have kind of backed off as far as trade discussions. Although for me, I thought that happened like 3 months ago. So I don't know.
Not kind of H. They out.
But they haven't even been in. I thought that came out like 2 months ago where they're like Clippers no longer have interest. I'm like, why do I keep hearing that? It's like so thoughts on Harden. Will he be a Sixer?
I don't think that this is unresolvable. I don't. I think that this is a situation where he could still play for them. And I think that I think it would be good for him just from a professional standpoint.
Yeah.
As toxic as this whole thing has been, I think from a professional standpoint, I think it'd be good for him to play for them. And the reason why is to show that, remember, it's just to show that, yo, I still got the goods. I still know how to be a professional. You don't see the fat suit. You don't see me being disgruntled or anything like that. What you saw over the summer, that's over. I'm here to work, which is what he did, by the way, today, Yesterday, he actually came to work. They told him,
send him home.
And it's not, he's off the crew. It's probably in your best interest to stay home and to prepare for what we got going on here. It wasn't like, yo, go home until we figure out a trade partner for you. No, I don't think that that's
go get in shape is probably like get your body right, get yourself straight, and come back and be ready.
And I think I think he's done that too, because he actually looks like he's in really good shape.
Yeah,
but I think that this crew here with Embiid, with Tobias Harris, with Pat Beverly, with PJ Tucker, we got a bunch of adults on this crew. We don't have time for this, The season has started. We don't have time for this nonsense. Either you with us or you not with us. And if James is going to come on the crew, I need to know that you with us, B. Yeah. I'm on record saying I was prepared to let James Harden walk out the front. Before he signed that extension, that 2-year extension, I was prepared to let him walk out the front door. And I wanted to give the ball to Maxey. I was prepared to let him walk out the front door when they had Doc Rivers, when they had Sam Cassell. I felt like that was an environment that Maxey could thrive in because he was at point guard university, and who better to learn to be an efficient, effective guard, point guard in particular, than Maxey from Doc Rivers and Sam Cassell. Who better to learn from? I was prepared to do that. But now here we are. 2 years later, we got a guy who doesn't really want to be in Philadelphia and is somewhat of a disruption. It's kind of affected the crew, but not to the point where this thing has been a complete and total disaster. I don't think it's been that. I definitely think this thing is salvageable. The question is he going to come back to work, which he did show up to work? Is he going to come back to work, and is he going to perform? That's the $1 million question.
I agree with you. And the thing is, Jay, like, I'm on the other end of the spectrum where I think that, not that it's not salvageable, I think it's past a point of no return. And I'll read this to you too. I want to get your take on this. Woj dropped this as well, and everyone in the chat's kind of adding some stuff too. ESPN asked the NBA about James Harden and new player participation policy. League is investigating. NBA spokesman Mike Bass, we're looking into the facts around James Harden's availability tonight to determine whether an approved reason exists for his lack of participation. It also says when Harden returned to the Sixers on Wednesday after being turned away by security. Do you think that's just fluff and media kind of like heightening the details, or do you believe that he truly was turned away? Or is it like what you said? It's just go work out, get ready, and be back for the game. Like, when will he return?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I don't think it's what they say it is, because if that was the case, then they would have sent them home already. He would have already been, you would have seen the Philadelphia 76ers have sent James Harden home.
Maybe they did, though. What if we don't know? What if they're not coming out? Like, what if Harden is just at home or back in Houston or something, and he's not coming back anytime soon?
Well, he had his bags packed.
Yeah.
From what I'm understanding, he had his bags packed in Philadelphia, ready to go with these guys to Milwaukee. He was ready to go. And they told him, yo, it's probably in your best interest that, we take this trip and you go, you stay home and get ready, which I'm cool with that. I think it's a little bit of both. I think this situation is salvageable for a little while. It's kind of like a divorce, where I'm not moving out yet. I'm ultimately moving out, but in the meantime, like, you stay on one half of the house, I stay on the other half of the house. I think that we can. I still think that we can live together and salvage this for a little bit of time, and just to save face. But once the time comes, it's time to wash our hands of this thing. It is. But the problem that we have is that we have to get somebody that's really adequate to give us what we want. We already know the Clippers are out. So don't be surprised if he ends up somewhere wild as hell, like Utah.
That's where I think if I were the GM, that is exactly what I would do. I send him packing, and I send him where he doesn't want to go, just like Kyrie. Like, not that, I mean, Mavs is honestly a great destination, I think, but Kyrie didn't want to go there, So I say, stop rewarding these players for bad behavior or bad, policy. I don't know why they continue to reward that. All that to say, I guess we'll stay tuned. But Aramis, our guys in the house, Aramis, appreciate you. We'll definitely touch on your Pels as well. What's a waste is the Suns not playing Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. You can already see load management this early in the season, and now we're seeing the issues front offices are causing.
Aramis, I'm on record saying this. If these guys aren't, we talking about Devin Booker with a foot injury. I wonder if this has to do with stuff like betting lines. And things like that, because there's no way that Devin Booker goes out 2 nights ago against the Golden State Warriors and has the night that he has, and then 2 nights later I can't go because my foot. Bradley Beal, who's been working out all summer, comes to camp in shape and is ready to go, and you're holding him out because of his back. If I'm ready to go, it needs to be made clear to the people and to the public that I'm ready to go, because it's not fair to me that it makes it look like I'm the one sitting out, because I'm having a difficult time that Bradley Beal isn't ready to go tonight. I'm having a difficult time believing that he's not ready to go.
I thought that's what all these policies were for load management. I mean, I guess threatening or not threatening, but saying you have to play 65 games to win any type of award or be a part of anything like that probably doesn't even appeal to Bradley Beal. I think he's just there to get paid, be a part of a good team, and hopefully contend at some point, right? So for the players that just don't care, they're allowed to just miss a bunch of games. Like, I don't understand. I thought that was what we're trying to eliminate this season.
Right. To be honest with you, H, I think it's more of it's an external issue. I don't think it's an internal issue. I mean, I think it's an internal issue, not an external issue. The fact that Bradley Beal is being labeled having a back injury, well, that's a money line. Same thing with Devin Booker. That's a money line, man. Like when did is his foot broken? Does he have ligament damage in his foot? Does he have an ankle injury? What do you mean he's got a foot injury? That's like me. That's like saying H can't go tonight. She's got a hand injury. What do you mean she's got a hand injury?
Yeah, it's usually like a finger or contusion or something. Why are there no details?
Broken? Right, it's a thumb broken.
It's Vegas, Jay. I'm telling you. Can I just say my theory? Okay, sports betting and betting companies are growing at like a crazy rate right now. We already know that Vegas and we've seen refs have certain interest in the betting world, but I think it's like getting too big, and it's going to monopolize the NBA. It's going to ruin the quality of the NBA, and it's frustrating. So anyways, all that to say though, I'm not happy with the Suns and their choices to at least, I mean, maybe Beal, whatever, but like to hold out Booker for your own fans, like that's just like, imagine Steph being out tonight on game 2 of a season where you need, like, that's just a horrible look for a new season.
This is, yo. It is. It's a bad look. It is. It's a terrible look.
Yeah. And this is part 2 from Aramis, and you can tell it's the front office because Booker just played the last game, and now they're resting him. Like what? They're this early in the season is crazy.
2 days ago. Today's Thursday. Tuesday night, he was on the floor, and he looked fine.
He's working out after the game on their little Twitter feeds, like, oh, we're so good. We're such a
looks
great
just fine. Now he's sitting because of a foot injury. I don't know if I'm loving that.
Ben Simmons would never. Greg, question for Chill. If this Sixers situation ends up in Embiid asking out, do you fire Daryl Morey because he's handled a lot of our problems poorly? Well,
here's the question. Did he handle a lot of your problems poorly? So you ran Ben Simmons out of town. Let's be clear about that. It wasn't that was not Daryl Morey. That was you guys. You guys ran Ben Simmons out of town. That was a mistake. I think that was a mistake first and foremost. Number 2, you still have to do your job. What I mean when I say that is bringing James Harden in. We're talking about a 20-10 guy who led the league in assists. You guys are back in the playoffs. but you're in the same spot that you were in before you got James Harden. If the Philadelphia 76ers are in the Eastern Conference Championship, this summer that just passed, James Harden is signing a 4-year deal for $160 million. That's happening. You know why? Because you're not in the same spot that you were in 2 years ago, which means that you as a player, you have to do your job too. So there's no reason for me to think that Joel Embiid can say, well, I need to get out of here because you guys are messing this up. Well, you're the one who's coming up short in the playoffs. I think the pieces that are put around him, I think they're adequate enough for them to win. I think the problem that we have is this is a two-way deal. You guys aren't doing your jobs neither.
Yeah. It's tough to decide. I mean, you know what? I'd be interested to kind of like be a fly on the wall in their office or in their conference room when they're discussing things and see what the vibe is. I just feel like there must be some sort of disconnect. Do you think Doc Rivers would have stayed coaching if Harden had ended up leaving? It was Maxey, Embiid, and the rest of the squad. Do you think he'd still be a coach?
I think he'd still be there, to be quite honest with you.
You think that'd be a benefit or a negative to them?
I don't know if it's terrible because again, I felt like, you know, giving the ball to Maxey and him learning from Doc Rivers and Sam Cassell, I thought it would be a good thing for him. I thought that he would thrive playing under those guys because Doc would have gave him the ball and he would have had no point. He would have had no choice but to turn him loose. And with turning him loose, he would have gotten better. And I think it would have been good for him if that had happened. But yeah, I mean, Doc Rivers is on record saying that the reason why he's not in Philadelphia anymore is because of James Harden.
100%. Yeah, that's
James Harden had a lot to do with that. 100% he did.
It's crazy guy. Teddy Hart. NBA has more all-star caliber players than ever. Should they expand to ASG roster spots to preserve historical integrity? A few years ago, Russ averaging a triple-double didn't make the ASG. However, even BJ Armstrong made it 1 year.
BJ Armstrong didn't make the all-star team. He started in the all-star game. Make sure we clear on that. BJ Armstrong did not make the all-star team. He did start in the all-star game. Now, I think that they're going back to
East-West.
I think that they're going back to East-West, which I think is good, to be honest with you. Yeah. I'm actually feeling the East-West format coming back. But I like it. The idea that expanding the roster, no, because when you expand the roster, what you're doing is you're watering it down.
Yeah.
No, you're watering down the game, and I don't want to do that. No, I do not want to water down the game. There's a reason why there's 12 roster spots. I don't want 15. I don't want 16 roster spots. No, because now what you're doing is you're getting guys on the crew that shouldn't be on the crew.
Nope.
That should not happen. No way.
I agree. All right, Teddy, thank you for that super chat. Appreciate you. Double P, I haven't been following the national coverage or social media, but I'm calling my shot. Zach LaVine will be a 76er, and Harden will not be in Philly.
Zach LaVine to the 76ers. I don't hate that. I don't. I don't hate that. But
Zach action.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't hate that, but I don't think that they need another scorer like that because again, you got Maxey, you got Embiid. And you got a bunch of dirty work guys, a bunch of in-between guys who I think that are going to help them. Like to get Zach LaVine, I'm not sure that's I don't hate it, but I mean, I don't know how good they're going to be with Zach LaVine on the roster. I think he's going to help them, 100% he is, but I'm not sure that that's going to be something that pushes them over. Getting Zach LaVine does not push them over the top. I don't think that makes them the NBA champions. No.
Although I will agree, I think Zach is gone at some point soon. I just don't know if Philly is going to be that destination. So I don't even know where I like Zach LaVine. I've thought about it. I think LA, once LeBron's gone, could be cool for him.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know when that will happen. Mello hit us with a super chat. Jonathan Isaac looked better than Ben Simmons, even in limited minutes. How do you think he looked?
I thought I thought that Orlando team was good last night, man. I do. I like what I see with that Orlando team. Don't get me wrong. Banchero wasn't great in terms of buckets, but Wagner was really good. Markelle Fultz actually looked really good. Cole Anthony looks like one of the best rotation guards in the game. Yeah. Wendell Carter. I think that they're on to something with him as a big. I really feel like they on to something with him as a big. I had Orlando right on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Of the playoff picture, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were a play-in team. That would not surprise me at all.
In the East,
would not surprise me. Yeah.
I think they could. I think if they had just like a crazy season, they could slip into the playoffs, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see. The East is so like, whew, there's a lot of good teams over there, but man, it's going to be interesting to see how they play out. Angie, great segue for us because we're going to switch into football gear. Angie Kari, what's up, fam? What's going on with y'all Niners? Well, thank you for reminding us, Angie. I'm just kidding. Jay, what did you think? We were talking about this earlier.
Well, I just found out that Brock Purdy was in concussion protocol, and it's not a coincidence that when he took that hit, after that, I think we were rolling before he took that hit. After he took that hit, he's throwing the ball out of bounds. He's throwing interceptions, and I didn't realize that. What I don't love is I'm not really loving Sam Darnold getting on the field. H, he is a turnover machine. I want you to notice, H, the 2 years that he started in college, he was 4th in the league in interceptions. His first season at USC, his senior year at USC. Who
was first, Stack?
I forgot who was. He guy from Washington, and then his senior year, I think he was 2nd in the league in interceptions. He comes to the Jets. He's 2nd in the league in interceptions. He is a turnover machine, H. He's been in the top 10 in interceptions the years that he's played more than 10 games. That's 4 years, including college, 6 years. He has been a turnover machine. I'm not one of these people who was ridiculous enough to think that I didn't think the 49ers, I didn't think we were going 17-0. I thought we were winning.
I didn't want to.
Right. I thought we were winning. I thought we were going to win 13 games. That's where I'm at with us.
Yeah.
I think we're going to win 13 games. And with Sam Darnold against Cincinnati, I don't love it. I think that we're going to be really run heavy against them. I think
don't let that guy pass.
I think we're going to be really run heavy against them. I think that our defense, if we could get 20 points against Cincinnati, I think our defense is going to be the difference in the game. Just like it was last year when we went to Cincinnati. I think that our defense is going to be the difference in the game. I'm sorry, 2 years ago when we went to Cincinnati, when they was in the bowl game. I think our defense is going to be the difference in the game. I think our run defense is going to be huge, trying to slow down Mixon. I think that they can be had more than anything. I think Joe Burrow, if we put pressure on him to get him, if we put pressure on him for him to make mistakes, I think we got a shot at winning. I do. But I'm not one of these people that's ridiculous enough to think that the 49ers, that we was going 17-0 or 16-1. No. I had us winning 13 games.
Yeah, I don't think I believe in like that's a little bit of bad luck having an undefeated season going into and not having suffered or faced a loss, especially Brock. Like it's good. You want to feel those losses and learn those lessons. That's important along the way. Leaf, I was torn up like that game. Okay, I'll explain my roller coaster of emotions. All right. Had an interception. I was like, we'll be fine. Another interception. We'll be fine. The moment that I was like, oh no, like, did you see when Fred Warner went down and he was like screaming in agony? I was like, oh, that's our, I got up. I was like, no, I'm not watching this anymore. I walked out the room. I was like, our season's over, but he got back up. And eventually we ended up losing and I kind of saw it coming for a while. It was not a good game from the start. Nick Bosa he hasn't really been Nick Bosa. Like he hasn't been the guy he typically is, but Fred and his leadership in that defense, he is so like, I don't know. He's just so special. Such a good player to have. We were missing Debo. Brandon wasn't able to get really any catches. I thought he would be involved a lot more. But no, Leaf, when you say, how did I like that kicking from versus the Vikings? I wasn't surprised. It's Kirk in primetime. I mean, I don't expect Dude, Jay, I told you this. If we go back to one of my podcasts, I said the Vikings are good. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He will throw those interceptions. And at the end of the game, like, I was like, okay, he might throw one. But, like, Kirk is one of the most, like, I don't know. I think he's I think he's a solid quarterback. I think that the Vikings have had a rough
don't
start.
let this dude off the hook. Ask him how he liked that ass whooping that the Detroit Lions put on them. Yeah. Ask him how he liked that ass whooping that the Denver Broncos put on him.
But that was like a near perfect game, Jay. Right. You have to give him credit. Like
ask him how he liked that ass whooping that the Denver Broncos put on them. Ask him how he liked that ass whooping that the Raiders put on them. Just so you know, Green Bay has lost 3 straight. As of right now, since you're talking about my 49ers, Lee, talk about them whack-ass Green Bay Packers and what they look like right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate of developing guys.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' first year as a starting quarterback, I believe he was 5-11. So I'm cool with that. But don't come on here like the Green Bay Packers is rolling, right? Yeah. My crew right now, we got a bit of we hit a rough patch. But that's fine. I still think we got the best team in the NFC. Y'all dudes, the Green Bay Packers, looking super wiggity right now. Not whack, wiggity whack. Give me a break.
I agree. And Jay, what are we gonna do with our corners? Do you remember we lost the Super Bowl because of our corners and Jimmy Garoppolo? Those were the 2 main issues that we had from that Super Bowl, and we still have our corners. Like, they actually make me angry. Like, to a really bad point. And it's Ward and Lenore. Like, I can't handle them. I can't even look at them. I can actually handle Ward. It's Lenore who I want to put in the sleeper hole. Handle him. I want
to put Lenore in the sleeper hole.
That's how I feel. And I don't want to feel like that about our player. But I for real want to
put him in the sleeper hole. I'm like,
we gotta upgrade. We gotta upgrade. It's not gonna work because that is exactly what the Vikings did. They exposed their corners. They kept going.
Angie, we are stacked. You're absolutely right. My 49ers are stacked. And we're in first place. That's why we stacked. So what are we talking about here? That's not nasty.
Yeah, you guys had your run anyways.
What are you talking about?
Handled you guys multiple times at your house.
Get out of here with that.
Angie,
I want to talk about my boys like we're supposed to be 17-0 or some nonsense like that. No, we wasn't. We wasn't winning 17 games. We ain't winning 15 games. We're gonna win 12, 13 games. That's what we're gonna do. No question about that. We're gonna lose some games.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, all that to say, sum up our thoughts. Do you got Cincinnati winning this Sunday, or do you have the Niners bouncing back?
I'm rolling with the Niners. Even though Sam Darnold is a turnover machine.
Yeah.
Even though he is a turnover machine, I'm still rolling with the Niners.
Me too. I think we'll be fine. And who knows? Brock is concussion protocol always a week?
Yes.
So because they haven't said he for sure is missing Sunday. They said he most likely will. So we'll see. But yeah, so Sam will get us through. Angie, thoughts on Barkley, Tay, or Henry to the Ravens?
I actually like Henry to the Raiders, to be honest with you, yo. Tank, go do your homework on my 49ers. We 5-2. Seattle's 4-2. Go do your homework on my 49ers before you talk. Please do your homework, my man. Please go do your homework on my Niners before you talk. Thank you very much. But anyway, I actually dig Henry to the Ravens. He gives them that dynamic that they don't have. An actual runner. In addition to Jackson, he gives them a runner that they can give the ball to 20 times a game, a workhorse back that they can get the football to, and he brings another dynamic that they didn't have in that offense. I really dig him. I really dig him with the Ravens. I am not listening to any logic about Tay Adams, not Barkley. I am not entertaining any logic about Tay Adams. And the reason why I'm not entertaining any logic about Tay Adams, because he could have kept his ass in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers would still be there, by the way. He could have kept his ass in Green Bay. He went to the Raiders to get paid, and now he's upset with what's going on. You went to the Raiders to get paid. This is what comes with it. Exactly. I am not listening to any logic from him. None whatsoever.
The thing is, though, I love Devontae, and I agree. That's exactly what happened. But do you think there was some commotion as far as like prior, after that? What was the game before Devontae left Green Bay and ended up going to the Raiders? Didn't they lose in a championship game, or what? How far did they get the season prior?
The Green Bay Packers?
Yeah.
They were in the NFC Championship game.
And they lost.
They lost to Tampa.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, once that happened, maybe Devontae, Aaron, they went and chilled and got a drink, smoked a cigar, and they're talking, and they're like, man, I think I'm going to go. I'm going to get my bag. And maybe Aaron Rodgers already knew at that point he was out too. Maybe they just wanted something different and they had discussed that. So maybe they knew it was, they kind of knew a shift was coming. And that's why. But yeah, I just hate watching Raider games because Devontae always looks so like he's just so done. But I mean, that was his choice. He had that choice. So, and Barkley, now I'm out on him.
Excuse me.
Okay, so yeah, as far as all that, any other football kind of nuggets of wisdom you have for anybody, or any thoughts on last week? It was kind of a crazy week, to be honest.
I'm very much focused on my 49ers and us getting back on track. I think that's more than anything. Like, we dealt with some injuries. I think the shoulder injury with Debo is worse than what they're letting on. The good thing about McCaffrey is that abdominal injury wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and I'm straight with that. I was very happy to hear that. We're gonna get Brock back really soon. I don't know if we're gonna get him back this Sunday, but we're gonna get him back real soon. So I'm cool. I'm focused on my Niners more than anything. But I would like to see. I wouldn't mind Derrick Henry in Baltimore with the Ravens. I would not mind that at all.
Do you think he has good years left in him? I mean,
I think he's got two. I think he's got 2 or 3 more good years left in him.
Okay.
As a
I was gonna be honest,
back.
I haven't seen the Titans play really at all this season.
They doing the same thing to him. What they did to Eddie Joy. They're doing the same thing to him. What they did to Eddie Joy. They running him in the ground. Yes, they are.
Yeah. Might as well do that on a contending team.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Okay, so a little update. Into the first, Bucks are up 7 points right now. So pretty good game. Love that. The thing about all the games so far is everything's been like, I haven't really seen a blowout yet. Have there been any blowouts? I'm trying to think. Of all the games I've seen, they've been competitive games, which I love to see. Even like the bottom tier teams have played extremely well. So
there was this one blowout a couple of weeks ago when the Cowboys came to town, but
we
won't talk about that.
We've got a Cowboys obsessed chat.
Yeah, there was this one blowout. So,
all right, Jay, this was a topic that Fluent had sent us prior to the show. Of course, he is enjoying himself in Cali tonight, so we obviously miss him, but we are going to get into this topic. I don't know. So you guys probably heard about Dwight Howard and some court documents that were obtained by ESPN and some of the details that have trickled out. So Jay, I want to hear kind of your side of all of this and why is this all being exposed now and what do you think about it?
Well, first of all, I think that's largely due to why he's not in the league. I think that has something to do with it. But on the flip side to that, we live in a different time. And when I say we live in a different time, we live in a very accepting period right now. And if this is who you are, it's okay to be that, my man. You do not have to run from that. You do not have to hide. If this is what you are, this is who you are, it's cool to be that.
Wait, before we go on, can you kind of give a synopsis, I guess, of like what's happened for maybe
apparently he and what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go into detail because I don't have all the facts, but I do know that he is it's not a sexual assault case where he's on trial or anything like that. No, it's a civil case, which has always bothered me. Then the reason why that's always bothered me is because when stuff like this comes about, the first question that I ask myself is, why aren't these people being reported? Because if I pick up the telephone and if this guy picks up the telephone and says that Dwight Howard took advantage of him, they're not thinking Dwight Howard, the pro basketball player. They're thinking about this big guy taking advantage of you. That's what they're thinking about.
Right.
And that's how it's going to be handled. But apparently that's not what happened. Apparently he's saying that this dude forced himself. He's saying the guy is saying that Howard forced himself on him.
Okay.
And performed oral sex on him, forced himself on him. Then they had sex. This is also it doesn't.
But these are so common of these stories that end up coming out, and we see them. Right? Like we hear all this, like the entanglement, as you know who would
it
say.
Just does, H. And I have such a difficult time when I see these quote unquote civil suits, because I'm thinking to myself, a crime was committed. If it is what you say it is, a crime was committed, which means that the authorities should have been alerted. I need to report this, as opposed to I'm taking this to civil. No, absolutely not. Because if you're going to take it to civil court, then it looks like it's just a money grab in terms of society. When in reality, if this dude took advantage of you, that's a crime. And he should be tried, and he should be punished for that, if this is exactly what happened. Right? But with all of that being said, all my only issue with Dwight Howard is, if this is who you are, my man, it's okay to be that. It is all right. Yeah. We live in a different time today. We live in a more accepting time where people are more. We have chicks we have women becoming men now. We have men becoming women. Bruce Jenner is a female now. So we live in a different time now. So if this is who you really are, embrace it.
Yeah.
And be that, and be comfortable with it, because you'd be surprised how many more people would be more comfortable with you if you did that.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, it's easy to say that, but especially in like maybe the male side of sports, I'm sure that's got to be like it's hard, you know, like there's just certain things, like there are certain things that have to be broken. I think are in a lot of spaces, except for maybe sports.
It is.
And there's so many discussions that come from that. But I guess where I kind of want to like end off on this is I'm the type of person, accusations mean nothing to me until it's proven in court. Unfortunately, that's where I stand. I've seen this. We've recently seen with that MLB player. We've seen it over and over and over and over, and it's wrong. It ruins these people's lives. And I hate that. But the thing is, we do have, like you said, the world is very accepting right now. And so we're seeing more and more men interested in relationships and marrying other men. And so maybe we're going to start seeing it not just from typically like ladies, not to put it like a group on or a tag on it, but like maybe we'll see it from more gay guys too. I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in. It's a crazy world.
We just live in a wild time, man. We just do.
Figuring things out.
Hey, man, I listen, my man, if that's what you into, that's what you into.
Yeah, be like, just do you, and
right.
Where is he? Taiwan? Like, come on.
Right.
You're living life. Enjoy it. And these things always end up coming out later on. Why not just get it, speak out your truth and move on from here. So, yeah. But all that to say, I hope he's doing okay. I just can't imagine, like, if you're going, like, we all go through things. I can't imagine having it be on such a, like, public record level, that's got to be tough. So, yeah. Hopefully he's all good. Oh, and Angie came through with another super chat. Y'all saw Jackson yucking it up with Britt and Taylor.
No, I didn't.
Jackson Mahomes, I did see it.
No, I didn't.
Unfortunately, I saw it. I'm just tired of talking about. I don't like any of this stuff that's going on, to be honest. It's just, I think it's sweet. And brilliant marketing. We're seeing so many girls, and especially like little girls, interested in the NFL, which is dope. Like, as a girl, it's hard to find other girls that are like truly love it. We're out there. It's just maybe not.
I think there was a time, H, where I think 60% of NFL fans was females.
I have heard that stat.
Yeah.
Where y'all at?
Yeah. It was a time when
Angie's the only one in here. Like, so yeah, there
was a time when that was going on. That was absolutely going on.
Well, now we have more because we've got Joe Burrow and what's the other Jalen Hurts. So we definitely got girls watching. But as far as the Taylor Swift and all that stuff, it's cute. It's cute to see. It's just a little bit over the top sometimes, but at social media. Okay. So a question, Jay, moving back to basketball. All right. I've been hearing this in chat. I want to hear your guys' opinion too. Maybe we can have a few of you on in a bit, but I'm hearing, we saw ESPN come out with all these crazy lists. They put Scoot above Russ and all these crazy things that, like before the season even started. How can you do that? How, like, who made these lists? I should get hired if that's the type of list. I do just fine. But I'm hearing people say that Chet is a top 5 center entering this season. This is before we've seen him play really any NBA basketball. Top 5 center in the league. And I want to get your take on that. Is that fair to all the other bigs that have been in the league, that have put up numbers, that have been consistent?
Right.
Do you agree with it? Do you not? What are your thoughts?
I do not agree with it right now. I think that at some point he could be a top 5 big because what he brings, his ability, in terms of his value, his ability to rim protect, his ability to rebound, his ability to paint protect, stuff like that. And on offense, his ability to stretch the defense, knock down the long ball, the way he plays in transition, his ability to pass. I think that at some point he can be a top 5 big. Today, walking into the league, he is not one of the 5 best big guys in the game. He is not. And the reason why he is not, he still has to get acclimated to the game. One, he has to still get acclimated to the game. He still has to get acclimated to the speed of the game, the strength of the game. He still doesn't understand the game yet. So there are guys who are far more advanced, like Bam, like Cat, like as much as I say about Deandre Ayton, guys like that, Brook Lopez. I think these guys are ahead of him. That's just to name a few. Joker. There's a bunch of
like
different
top
guys.
5 center. We've got Embiid, Jokic,
that's what I was just about to say. Yes.
Gobert. Right off the bat, we've got Vucevic is better than him.
That's what I'm thinking about. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
So
with that being said, H, I'm looking at the landscape of the league. I'm looking at the landscape of the league, and I'm thinking to myself, can this guy ultimately be a top 5 big with his skill set? I think he's Sean Bradley with a better handle and a jump shot. That's who I think he is, and I think that could translate into being a top 5 big because of the way he rim protects. I will say this: as good as he is, him being matched up with Wemby, as long as Wemby, if it's close, the edge will go to Wemby. So, for example, Rookie of the Year, if it's close between those two, Wemby, it's going to go to Wemby. 100%. No doubt about it.
That's already been decided.
Right, the edge will go to Wemby, even though I don't think it's going to be like that. But if it is, I think it's going to go to Wemby. I still feel like guys like this guy Chet and Wemby, I think that these guys are the few. This is what the NBA is about to look like in the next 10 to 15 years. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. This might be a dumb question, but Wemby is a 5. He just plays the 4, right?
Yes, he is a 5.
He's like,
yes.
I mean, like that's the epitome of a 5.
Yes, he is a 5 man.
He's like KD, but like his skill set, his back is crazy. Like he can do everything, but he plays a 4. Yes. Okay, so from the little bit that we've seen, obviously we don't have much to go off of here, but I mean, if this is in 5 years, we see Wemby, we see Chet. Do you think that Wemby's ceiling is higher just with the skill set that he has?
I do. I think that Wemby's ceiling is higher. I think that he does more. I think that he's got a higher ceiling simply off the strength that same with when I saw Wemby in Europe, I saw a lot of raw athleticism. Yeah. And not only did I see a lot of raw athleticism, I did see a guy that was more polished, but I did see a lot of room for growth. As opposed to when Luka and Jason Tatum showed up, I felt like Luka was more polished than Jason Tatum, but I felt like Jason Tatum had a lot of room for growth, and I felt like that ceiling was higher because he was a better athlete. Yeah. I'm looking at Luka, I'm looking at Wemby, and the athlete that he is, how he gets up and down the floor, plus his skill set, I think that ceiling is even higher for him because I do think he's a better athlete than Chet. 1, I think he's a better athlete than Chet. 2, I think he's more skilled than Chet. 3, I think that he knows the game. From at this point, I think he's a little bit more polished in terms of his IQ of the game more than Chet. Yes. Chet was able to sit on the bench and watch the pro game last year, but I don't think that with Wemby, him being in the league, I don't think that he goes behind Chet because of that. I think that he's absolutely ahead of him because of that. But I will say this. When I think about these two guys, I think that Wemby in particular, I just feel like this is the future of the league. I feel like this is what the league is going to look like. 100%. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're already seeing like top draft picks are we're seeing the league shift for sure. Darren said the Tatum agenda is getting out of hand.
Why is it getting out of hand? I'm trying to understand. Well, I'm trying to understand why it's getting out of hand. We're talking about a guy in Jason Tatum who just 2 years ago, almost almost over 2 years ago, I said that I thought that in 2 years, he was going to be in the conversation to, one, either be better than Luka or be right there and be an MVP candidate. In the last 2 years, he finished 6th in the league in MVP votes, I believe, in 22. And then last year, he jumped Luka and finished 4th. So there is a conversation. I actually think that he has. I actually think that he's jumped Luka. That's just me. But I don't think that it's like this. And I don't think Luka is like this much better than him. Watching Jason Tatum and watching him improve, watching him get better on both the offensive and defensive side of the basketball, there's no way you're going to sell me that these guys are like miles away from each other. If you're telling me that, you're saying that from a completely you're saying that from a complete and unrealistic bias standpoint. I'm not trying to hear that. These two dudes are not like this. The gap has closed significantly between them. Significantly.
I agree with you. Who do you think is going to have, like, as on an individual level, a little bit more of a jump this season? Is that Luka or Tatum?
I think it's Luka. I think Luka. I don't think that there's much more that we're going to see from him. Right. I think that Luka is at a point where what you see now, that's probably who he is, which is fantastic. I want to make sure we clear on this, H. Yeah. We're not talking about a dude in Luka who's a good player or a great player. We're talking about a dude who's arguably a top 5 player in the game, 100%. Yeah. Jason Tatum, again, I feel like he wasn't as polished as Luka coming into the game. And because he wasn't as polished, I felt like there was more room to grow from him. And I think that he's done that. And I still feel like there's more there. I saw him last night. His shot selection has improved. His mid-range has improved. I think him being on this unit, his defense has improved. And with all of that being said, that gap between these guys, I just feel like it's closed. I do. I feel like these guys are right there. If I had to pick between the two of them, I'm going to take Tatum, but I feel like Luka is right there.
Yeah, it's tough. I think at the end of the day, once they're both retired, I think Tatum, like you said, because of his athleticism and his ability that his body alone gives him. I mean, he's a lot bigger too. How tall is Tatum now?
I saw Tatum standing up next to KD. Yesterday. I saw him standing up next to KD. He looked like he legit 6'9".
Yeah, he's. I swear he's grown. Like,
yes.
You know who else has grown? And then I will get a couple of you guys on to share your and NBA thoughts on so far. Moses Moody. I haven't gotten to talk about my guy Moses Moody. Jay, did you watch the Dubs game at all?
I did watch the Dubs game, and I watched Phoenix.
Yeah,
I'm coming over to the side of Devin Booker being more of a playmaker and facilitator more than anything. I was on the fence about that because again, H, I was watching the Phoenix and I wasn't thinking that you need John Stockton. I don't think you need Rondo, right? I didn't think that you needed that, but I did feel like they need somebody to calm them. But it looks like Devin Booker, as the season goes on, if he can continue this, I think he can help them.
I think so too. Yeah, I love what I saw from Moody, but we'll get into that. Dude, what's good? NBA season has started. What are you thinking? What have you seeing so far?
Can't hear you, brother.
Oh, you muted really. Yeah.
Can't hear you. See if we can get him hot.
Let's see. Mike might be undone, but
see if we can get him back.
Yeah. I'm gonna I'll boot you and then just try coming back in and maybe the audio will be fixed. Good?
Yep. Okay. See if we can get him back in.
But yeah, the just what I saw from look, you can criticize our starting lineup. I don't care. But Jay, Moses Moody, Kuminga, and low-key Chris Paul, he was incredible in every sense of the word. Like everything that we needed. Okay, I'm bought in, Jay. I like Chris Paul.
Are you on that?
No, let me tell you. There was I think it was Devin who kicked him like Devin does. Devin's such a little, but I think he did something to Devin or Devin did something to him. And I was like on the floor by the TV. I was like, oh my, like you can't do that to him. Like I was defending Chris Paul. Incredible is not a stretch. Like Chris Paul is him. Chris Paul is him. What's good?
We better
you're
now.
Back,
we
you're
better
back.
now.
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
First things first. What's good? H. What's good? Chill. It's been
a minute.
What up?
I
gotta say, I spent a lot of time. Also, Chill, I need more homework from you. I dissected that 1993 Knicks Bulls series. Dissected it. And I actually want to talk to you, but that's a whole nother discussion. I want to sit and talk about H. I want to talk about your Warriors.
Yep.
I thought it was a fantastic game until Kuminga had this stretch. You guys were coming back. I think you guys were down 3. Mm-hmm. And he drives, he gets fouled, clanks both free throws off the front iron.
Yep.
And then has as a guy who's how long Kuminga been in the league? What, 3-4 years?
This is his 3rd year.
He had this foul. And he looked at the ref like he couldn't believe it. And I'm like, bro, you got 5 fouls. Like, it was like this dumb foul that I'm like, that's why you don't get that. That's why you're not getting the playtime that you get. You can't make that when you had a chance to legitimately win that game. But other than that, I'm curious to see what is it. Is it crazy that they're just like, we're not going to get another big? They can't just keep doing that, right?
No. You can't contend without at least Dario Saric and Looney are not going to help win us a championship against Nikola Jokic. We are not passing the Nuggets without a big. And look, I've learned to like trust Mike Dunleavy. I like what he's doing. I like his game plan, but unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. Dwight wasn't the answer. Christian Wood wasn't the answer. I'm glad we didn't end up going that route, but hopefully something better comes along because I cannot watch another season where Steph Curry is carrying this team on his back. I can't
by the way,
do it.
Dwight is done. Dwight is done, by the way. That story is wild, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
So also, I want to ask you this is particularly Chill. Do the Nuggets just have like, I guess, especially when their starting 5 is just rolling, are they just the perfect matchup for the Lakers? Because if AD can't guard Jokic, who can?
I just don't understand why people can't just accept the fact that,
you think Draymond can?
They're just better.
Yeah, but I get it. Better. Was it 2 years ago?
Stop. What are you like? You can't stop Jokic.
It's just better.
Yeah.
They're just better. I don't understand why we can't just accept that. They are just better.
You're right.
No, I got you. I think that the problem is obviously I know some people in the chat are clowning my hat. All right, look, it's tough. I don't watch baseball, but I was like, Dodgers, come on now, don't do this to me. I just bought the hat. It's fresh. Don't do this to me.
That brim is fresh, yo. I ain't gonna fight that. That is fresh.
But so I guess the only thing I'm sitting there, same thing I question like that I have H for your Warriors. Are they also not gonna go with another reliable big as well? I like Najee. I don't know that much about him, but I like what he showed against the Lakers. Dope. But are they obviously Christian Braun, whatever he gives him this year, his development, obviously I think his development over the playoff run is why they let Bruce Brown go. Because I think if they truly didn't see that, but do they not need another big also in your opinion, Chill? Or are they just fine rolling what they got? Obviously, it's a great team. So you're not looking for another big impact guy off the bench, but you're looking for somebody reliable.
Well, we have a copycat league, and I think we at a point now where what Denver has, you're going to see teams try to replicate that. The problem is, so I think we're a little late. I think that's the problem. I mean, that doesn't mean that, what the Warriors do, that doesn't mean that that's obsolete. No, because it's still good. Only except we do that too, just we bigger. I think that's the difference. That's why I feel like guys like Wemby, I feel like Wemby is the future of the NBA. So with that being said, I don't feel like the Warriors are going to go with another big, number one, because there isn't one available that can really combat with Joker. Number two, they haven't gone with a big. They've always had your man. They've always had Looney, and Looney has been their dirty work guy. They've never had a big that they go to for buckets.
If they can just clone Looney, if they can just get another Looney, that'd be perfect.
They've never had that. So
I'm just saying, if they could clone him, if they could clone Looney, I'm chilling.
Yeah, no, you're right, Jay. You're right.
That's never really been the case. They've always won as a jump shooting team, a transition team, a team that moves the basketball. So it's not like they're going to go out and get another guy today or in a month or 2 months to combat with Joker. There's nobody available to do that. I mean, I think we have to accept the fact that they just better. That's just the way it is. They just better.
Also, I missed the panel this morning. How did y'all talk about Wemby? I thought he played. I mean, if y'all expecting 30 and 10, off rip on his first game. I thought he played pretty well from what we got.
I thought he was damn good for his first outing.
I thought he was pretty well too. The problem is he's playing for the Spurs and not the Utah Jazz like he was supposed to play for, bro. But
let it go.
I'm not.
Leaf, you just out here supporting bad franchise.
No. Random, I'm not letting it go because the NBA is dumb. They had it all set up.
Hey, Leaf, how does it feel losing your 2024 pick for Drew Eubanks? Talk about that.
2024 pick for Drew Eubanks?
Yeah. Was he worth it?
Oh, that's how you feel? I mean, listen.
You started this, Leaf. Just so you know. You know who started this. So don't come in here with the goofy logic. And then when my girl get on you, you're going to be like, who started? Wait a minute. That's how you feel.
Wait a second. I already told you what I was on yesterday. You thought I was bullshitting?
Hey, etiquette, sir, etiquette.
I was playing, bro. I'm knocking everybody else. Haley, you can get this too. You can get this too.
There's a lot of Packers frustration in that yellow.
That's really what it is.
No. I took so much.
In addition to the Packers and the Brooklyn Nets, it's just a mountain of frustration.
Shout out D-Bitch saving my fantasy team last night.
Yes.
I took so much disrespect this offseason. From everybody,
as you should have.
I done took it from this Looney Tune up here.
As you should have.
I done took it from Bobby.
As you should have.
As I should have for some odd reason. SB got a Chicago Bulls show on this channel, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm looking around. I'm like, what the hell is going on out there?
Franchise in the Nets, Leaf. They are. They're more story franchise, Leaf.
Wait, Leaf, you're a Nets fan?
The GOAT played there. What are you talking about, Leaf?
Bro,
we definitely not having this conversation.
What have they done since this millennium started?
What have y'all done since this millennium started?
We done a lot more than the Chicago Bulls. I'll show you that.
Hey, Leaf, give us so far
since 2000, the Brooklyn Nets have done more than the Chicago Bulls.
I think we have.
Is that what you just said?
Yes. Since 2000, we've done more. We have a lot more success than the Chicago Bulls. Book it.
A lot more success is crazy. That's just me. I'm not a basketball guy.
Listen. Crazy. All you got to do is go on the internet, man. You right by your computer.
I saw they also had the biggest failure in NBA history, but we don't.
When I listen to Leaf, Leaf takes years off my life sometimes.
Nah, I take years off your life.
I for real think that this dude wild as hell sometimes.
Nah, I take years off. What you was about to ask me, Haley?
No, I was just gonna say, was there maybe a game one for a team that stood out to you, or a matchup that you like that maybe you didn't expect, or just thoughts so far?
I mean, I'm always pro Zion because the rest of the league to me is weak as hell. These some skinny ass dudes out here. I think if he get his mind right and his body right, man, and his conditioning right, man, and they close down all the buffets and all the gumbo spots over in New Orleans, man.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Chill. We did this on Chill with Chill. You asking? This is your what? 5? This is your 5 for Zion. This is who he is.
Random.
This is your.
This is 5. This is who he is now.
Probably who he is, dude.
How many games
all right. So
25 or 148 or something. Like we barely seen him play.
So random. What you telling me is we gonna get this for like 30 games, and then he gonna go right back to eating and Mariah Bills. That's what.
If I'll tell you this, if we get 30 games or 40 games and he breaks down, Leaf, I'm out.
You out for good?
I'm out.
Leaf. Tell me right now. Okay, mind you, when Zion's on the court, he's fantastic. Nobody is disputing that. He's fantastic. But what do we know about Zion? The same thing we know about Kawhi. He's gonna break down. He's gonna miss games. That's what we know. That's a big part of his career, Lee.
I like the Kawhi situation. To me, I think that's just an injury that I think he's working so hard to get back that he never quite healed.
That's what's the medical term? That's like degenerative, right?
Yeah,
that's degenerative. He's living on borrowed time on his knees. But with Zion, like no matter what he says, he's clearly not willing to put in the work off the court, health-wise, to keep his body in the right shape. Right. He's not doing now, we're not even going to talk about the other stuff because I'm pretty sure that lady's still trying to tweet. That's why they banned her. We just know that he's not put even that. Let's just say even if he was that, he spent so much time rehabbing, he's not advancing his game.
Right.
I think we're due for a good season, though. I think it's still too early just to completely rule him out when we've given other players far more of a like leash than we are giving Zion.
I
don't think it's anything wrong with his game.
I
think
also
his
think
game is just fine.
This season, he's coming to camp in some of the best shape that I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's in great shape this year. So but
if he does 30 games,
I'm out.
And then he's injured. Yes,
I'm out.
I can get on board with that.
I'm out.
I could get on board with that as well.
I can't.
Yesterday,
I'm not falling for it this time. That's all I'm saying. You need to prove it to me
prepared.
now.
So yesterday, our head coach decided to keep Royce O'Neal, I think Dorian Finney-Smith, Mikal Bridges, Nick Claxton on the court, and decided not to put in Spencer Dinwiddie, who was one of our best ball handlers in the clutch time. Obviously, Cam Thomas, and by the way, Chill, stop trying to get Cam Thomas traded from my team, man. Cut that out.
I'm not trying to get him traded. I just know
you did that earlier.
Did you just get there?
It's not that I'm trying to get him traded. I just know how you dudes are handling him. And what's going to happen, Random, is that like the 36 you saw yesterday, you're going to see another 28, and then you're going to see another 32. Right? You're going to see another 22, then you're going to see another 28, and then you're going to see another 26, and then you're going to see 18 minutes, then you're going to see 20 minutes, then you're going to see 18 minutes, and then you're going to see another DMP with this guy. So
there's nothing wrong. Yeah. Real quick, Leaf. Is there no is Chill lying about that? There has to be a reason to why he's getting this sporadic amount of playing time.
Well, the reason is that he's basing it off of what happened in the previous year when we was trying to find chemistry with the new pieces that we have now. The issue with what Chill is saying is that it is clear as day. It is as clear as day that he is probably the best, if not the best scorer on this team, but he is definitely the best offensive player on this team. It is clear as day. And last night solidified it, bro. In these next couple of games that he's talking about, where he's going to drop 26 and 28 and 27, that's going to solidify it too. The only difference is it's got to be wins. Another thing about it, Ben Simmons cannot be on the court with Nicholas Claxton. I know I said that in the offseason, and I know I reiterated it. He cannot be on the same basketball court as Nick Claxton. When Nick Claxton is on that court, he needs to be on there with DFS, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges at the 2, Dinwiddie at the 1. When Claxton comes out, then Ben Simmons comes in with the reserves. That's how you got to have it. I'm done with this whole logic. Just because you're paying a dude all of this money that you got to put him in the starting lineup. The thing is,
business, Leaf. That's business. That's how it's always been.
No, it's dumb.
It is dumb, but that's how it works.
No, but I needed.
Even if that's done, what's your problem with Nick Claxton and Ben Simmons on the floor?
The problem with Nick Claxton and Ben Simmons on the set, you're telling the defense, bro, what we're doing already. You're basically giving hey, bro, yo, come sit and help. He ain't shooting either. We got 2 dudes on the court that ain't no threats. Hey, yo, come over here.
Haven't we already established that that's your unit, though, this season? You're going to be more of a defensive unit than you were in the past. Not to mention, you did score 113 points yesterday. It wasn't like you scored like 80 or 90. You did score 113 yesterday.
You lost by one.
And you do have guys who can score. Mikal Bridges can score. Yes. Cam Thomas can score. Yes. You do have guys who can score. Finney Smith can shoot the basketball. Dinwiddie can shoot the basketball. So you do have guys who can score. You do have that.
Hold on. Where we are our most effective is with a unit where Nick Claxton is the only one filling the dunk box and filling the dunk spot in the painted area. And we have shooters all over the court. Last year, during that 28 game stretch where we had that lineup, Dorian Finney-Smith had the most wide open threes, bro, I've ever seen in the 28 game stretch. He was wide open. One of the reasons is because you had to account for Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, who was at the 2, giving us 26 a game on average. And when he's at the 2, now his offense grows because he has more mismatches as to being opposed to the 3, where he's got to guard the best player or the best wing player or the best perimeter player on the other team. That's what steps it up. And then second, when you bring Ben Simmons off the bench, that's a plus. That's a plus because now you got him coming off the bench with Cam Thomas. Now you got him coming off the bench with Dennis Smith Jr. Now you got him coming off the bench with the second unit. And I can remind you what he did with the second unit last year in the first 2 games after the trade. when we still had Joe Harris and we still had Seth Curry. He was going crazy with them because he goes crazy with shooters. You put Ben Simmons, it's a common knowledge. It's a common knowledge that if you put Ben Simmons with other floor spaces, you got a great chance of winning that game.
You're going to lose Ben Simmons if you put him in the rotation.
So I'm telling you that right now. Yeah, Leaf, I have a question. I know you were saying you don't want to play with Nick Claxton, but is his playmaking not? Is that not what his playmaking ability not good enough for you?
You talking about Nick Claxton?
No, Ben Simmons. That's why I presume obviously his defensive whatever he gives you defensively, because obviously he's not shooting the ball, but he has other ways to affect the offense with his playmaking. He had 9 assists last night, 23 minutes.
Right. But a lot of those assists came off of like open court opportunities. Like, don't get me wrong, you're not going to stick
those open court opportunities. How do you think those open court opportunities came about?
Because of defense.
Right. That's the idea. That's the way you guys are going to play. That's the way you guys are going to play, Leaf. Yeah, and that's why Ben Simmons needs to be on the floor, not in the rotation.
But there's a but to all of that. There's a but. The but is, bro, like you want to play that way, but you want to play that way in spurts. You don't want to give away your entire game. You don't want to give away your entire game.
Going with the best teams in the league,
right? And Leaf, this is how you get my blood pressure up, and I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not. I am not.
Y'all act like I'm saying something
you're playing to your strengths. That's what you're doing. You're playing to your strengths. You're the team that nobody wants to go. God, we got to go to Brooklyn tomorrow. It's about to be a dogfight. We're about to throw rocks at each other. That's how you guys are going to win.
That's who you guys are, Lee. Why can't you accept that?
I will say though.
Can you tell me? Tell these people who I compared your crew to.
2004 Pistons.
Something like that. Which
you know what I'm comparing us to? After last night, we the 2018 Clippers. You remember that team where Lou Williams was leading the team in scoring? That's what we looking like.
I don't understand. Mind you, what are your expectations for the Nets this season, Lee?
He said that we ain't gonna see it coming. That's what he said.
Yeah, of course we ain't gonna see it coming. But
we ain't gonna see it coming.
Okay, so what is that? What is that?
Here's the thing.
How far?
Nobody else knows this but me, bro. Like this team, like you could this team is easily coachable. You could coach this team in your sleep. This is easy, bro. What does that mean,
Leaf? What does that mean?
All you got to do is get the lineups right. That's all you got to do is get the lineups right. And do what?
How far are you going, Leaf? Answer Haley's question. How far are you going?
If the
lineup, you're not making a conference final.
The lineup is correct, Leaf. The lineup is correct.
With Ben
Simmons in the rotation. All right, we got Ben Simmons in the rotation. We got Cam Thomas in the rotation. We got Cam Johnson on the floor. We got Dinwiddie on the floor. We got Mikal on the floor. We got Claxton on the floor. We got these guys on the floor. What do the Brooklyn Nets look like this season? Where y'all going?
We could beat anybody.
I ain't asked you who you could beat.
Beat the Celtics.
Where are you going?
Where are we going? It's a circular argument.
With that lineup, you said y'all could beat anybody.
So Giannis is getting hurt when they beat the Bucks, right? Giannis is hurt. I'm talking
about in a 7-game series. Where do you see you guys land?
The question right now: if every single lineup that we put on the court night in and night out is correct, we win in the East.
You're not. No, you're not.
Yes,
you are lying. You are straight up lying right now. You are not.
Imagine
Okay, look at it right now.
Imagine the Nets Nuggets finals. That's not happening.
We are winning the East,
bro.
Every lineup is correct.
Don't let Jokic see the Nets.
Easily coachable.
He's gonna set records.
All right, guys, really quick because we have to wrap up our show.
That's what we
have to wrap up pretty quick. But I want to hear, after what you've seen, who's the best team in the East and who's the best team in the West so far that you've seen? Leaf, you start.
I gotta go with these buster ass Celtics for some reason.
Yeah.
And then and obviously we gotta go with Denver, bro. But the Celtics, Porzingis gotta prove that he can hold up.
100%.
That's all that is. If he can't hold up, then I'm coming back here, bro. And I want Chill Town's head first. I want his head on it because he believe in these busters, and I told him time and time again about them, bro. And I told him time. Here's the thing about the Celtics: they're not going to be judged off what they do in the regular season. I don't care what they do.
I think they win the NBA championship. I said that on my record. I'm on record saying
that.
I think they
act like they're
win.
losing in the first round every year.
I'm on record saying that they won't even come out of the East.
Leaf, you act like they're losing the first round every year. They're going deep in the playoffs every year.
The thing is,
every year.
we know anything
and
is
they
possible,
got nothing to show for it.
Leaf.
What do they have to show for it?
Leaf.
I'm tired of getting there and not doing nothing and not getting it
You
done.
gotta win it. You have to at some point. You gotta win it.
I understand the
at some point you got to get it done.
I understand that
I
understand that they have to win, but you're talking about them like they're the 76ers getting upset in the second round every year. Like they're the Orlando Magic losing the first round every year. They go where they're supposed to go. And mind you, Steph Curry doesn't have a great game 6. Maybe the Celtics win that series. Maybe.
Look,
what are we talking about?
Celtics were never going to win that series. That was
they definitely had a chance to win that series. But I'm gonna tell you this: in the 35 years I've been on this earth, the historic Boston Celtics, bro, has the same amount of championships as the Raptors, the Nuggets, the Bucks, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. One.
Okay, leave.
Okay.
I don't want to hear Leaf no more, bro. And the same with them sorry ass 49ers. They ain't done nothing in this millennium neither. Stop running at me about the Packers.
Just so we clear. Just so we clear. You keep saying in this millennium. Just so you know, in my lifetime, we won the bowl game 5 times. That's number one.
And in this millennium, how many times y'all
number
won?
2. Every year that we've been in the playoffs,
what have y'all done?
Every year that we've been in the playoffs, we've been either in the bowl game or in the NFC Championship. That's all I have to say about that.
Leaf. Don't talk like that. Don't make us bring up the list of all the Packers' failures. All right.
Yeah, we can go all day, but we're not doing. We're not. No.
We got a Super Bowl to show for it.
I apologize.
Who do you have coming out of the East and who do you have coming out of the West?
I want to see the Bucks win. I want to see the Bucks game before, but from where I'm looking, they're
I'm watching the Bucks game now.
They're handling the 76ers, and I'm sorry, was it a 4-point win against the Knicks is not moving me with the Celtics.
It damn sure ain't.
But if they finish the game out the way they're handling, we're gonna have to have some questions. The only reason why I said Boston because this Milwaukee game ain't over, bro, and this game was very, very easy.
Random, I think you're going to take that back at some point because that Knicks team is a lot better than what you think they are. They are.
No, the Celtics is just the problem is the Celtics is just not that dominant as people think they are.
Not true.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Right now, look. Obviously, I'm gonna go a little college football playoff for this. Look, the 76ers are the better opponent. Obviously, we only got 3 nights to decide this, and from what I'm seeing of the Bucks,
I don't think it matters.
I'm more impressed, but I do agree with you because the Knicks are another rock fight team. Like I know it's Madison Square Garden, but we about to get in a fist fight for 3 hours.
Do not sleep on the Knicks. Do not sleep on the Nets. I think everybody's aware of that. They'll creep up on you real quick. So respect.
Yeah, obviously in the West, it's Denver.
If all our lineups is correct, man, we win in the East, man. You heard that team. First.
No, that team, Denver is perfect.
If I got the fastest car, I'm going to win the race. If I got the best shoe, if I got the right shoes on, I'm going to win the race. Give me a break, man. All right, yo.
Of course you are.
Good to talk to you.
Hey, of course you are.
Kind of goofy.
Of course you are.
All right, Oli.
Of course you are.
And remind you, the Niners is supposed to be contenders, bro. Not supposed to be losing back to back.
You're not gonna win your division, Leaf.
I know we're not. That's because we rebuild, man. That's because we rebuild.
Penix is in the draft.
All right, Joe.
That's because we rebuild.
Thank you for the love. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Jesus.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Random.
Thank you for having me, too, man. I'll see y'all.
Enjoy the game.
Oh my God.
You're not about to handle that.
Oh my God, yo.
Got to be more dominant than that, man. Come
on.
God.
Oh my God.
Them damn Niners. They like. I know who they are. I just don't trust them.
Get Leaf at.
I just don't trust.
Get Leaf. Get Leaf out. Get Leaf. Can we get Leaf gone, please? Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't handle Leaf, yo. I be trying to. I'm telling you, that dude takes years off my life sometimes.
Me too. But when I agree with him, it's a good feeling. Like it's like he.
But then he'll go off the rails, H. Then he'll just go off the rails. He'll say something where you like, you know what? That's right. You know what? You make a really good point. And then he'll say something other where you like, what? Your mic is muted, H. Your mic is muted, H. Still can't hear you.
How about now?
Now you hot. Now you hot. Good.
Okay. All that to say, Jay, the last few minutes, I kind of wanted to ask you. I mean, we're watching this game. It's not as bad now. It feels like Philly's kind of creeping up. We're at halftime now. What have you seen so far? We're seeing Dame and Giannis duo. I haven't really heard too much of your thoughts about like maybe how you see this system working. I've heard some, people saying, "Oh, their defense isn't going to be quite the same," and yada yada. But what do you like so far about this team?
I haven't really seen much of the game, but from the looks of it, it looks like Dame and Giannis, which, by the way, those two guys are savants. They're going to figure it out. It's just going to take some time, right? Yeah. I don't think this is the thing that I'm concerned with is how long is it going to take for these two dudes to figure this out?
Right.
I'm not saying that they're not going to figure it out because I think that they are. I just need to see it. And I think that it's going to take a little bit of time. This is game 1, right? Yeah. It's not like we're in game 40 and we still having this conversation. No, this is game 1 and they just started, right? And Philly's not out. Philly is in this game. This is not like this is a game where they're smoking Philly, right? Yeah. They're in the game. So I think that, Middleton finally being back in the lineup, I just think that this Milwaukee team, there's some things that need to be, there's some kinks that need to be worked out with this crew. And because there's some kinks that need to be worked out with this crew, it's going to take some time. So I'm not jumping the gun and watching this crew. I'll watch the second half and get a better idea of what I'm looking at with this crew. But I can tell you right now, Dame and Giannis, I think they are at some point going to figure it out.
I agree with you. I mean, that's just so much greatness and two unselfish players, right? Two players that I think are willing to pretty much do whatever it takes to win and do it together. Right. So one of my favorite duos, whether it works out or not, I love these two. But I am curious, if this was coming into last season, the 22-23 season, it would have been different because we were talking about Philly a much different way than we are into this season. From almost everyone I've spoken to about Philly, they're out. They have no expectations for Philly to even make the West or Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
I think that they could. I'm never going to rule out. I think we all appreciate Joel's greatness, but for the most part, I think most people have Celtics Bucks or even Celtics Cavs or even the Knicks. Like I think everybody's just out. So do you think a win in this game would mean anything or be kind of like we're here, we're back, no matter what you guys are talking about? It's Philly time.
Well, a win against this Milwaukee team for Philadelphia would definitely boost morale, and it would definitely give them confidence. But I think you and me are at odds, H. I'm out on Philly. Just like I'm out on the Clippers, I'm out on Philly too. And I look at a crew that they're going to go, just like the Lakers are going to go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to go as far as Joel Embiid takes them, period. As good as James Harden was, or when he gets back in the lineup, is going to be, none of that makes a difference. They're going to go as far as Joel Embiid takes them, period. Those guys play off of him. Not only do they play off of him, they thrive off of him, right? They get all of their energy from them, defensively and offensively. And when he's not going, they're not going. So because of that, I got to see them go as far as Joel Embiid takes them. I'm out on Philly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not against that at all. We're just gonna have to see. All right, we're gonna read this last super chat, do a few more predictions for a few games upcoming, and then we're gonna sign off.
Yes.
Random guy, Leaf looks like a man who has never seen a line he wouldn't cross respectfully. But we love you, Leaf. We just need to break some time.
That's exactly how Leaf is.
Hey, to his credit, he has so much energy. If I could get like a quarter of that energy, I'd be good
Leaf,
to go.
stay charged. Stay charged.
Energy.
Always got the battery in his back. Always. Leaf got the battery.
Actually, I've heard that like people say that that's like a genetic thing where people like some people are just always energized. It's crazy. All right, Jay. Last 7 minutes. I'm gonna read out a few of the game matchups that we have upcoming. And I want you to give me your little mini analysis on what you got. Tonight we got Suns Lakers. We've kind of covered it, but do you think the Lakers are going to come out and stomp the Suns?
They should handle it. No Beal, no Book. They should handle these dudes, and I expect a big outing from Anthony Davis tonight. I expect the normal Anthony Davis. I think that the basketball is going to move a little bit more. I think that these guys are going to get out in transition. I think that they should handle Phoenix tonight. Yes, they should.
I'm with you. Chat, you guys let us know, who are you taking in tonight's matchup, Suns, Lakers, and if you have any good picks, drop those too. Moving on to tomorrow. I mean, I think previously this could have been a good matchup. Nuggets, Grizzlies. I know Grizzlies lost game 1. It wasn't too far off, but I think we've talked about this. They're going to struggle early on. Do you think the Nuggets just handle them?
I'm out on Memphis too, H. Like I'm out on the Clippers, like I'm out on Philly, I'm out on Memphis too. I think that the stuff that they've lost in the offseason, no Brandon Clark, now Steven Adams, losing Ja for the 25 games, and now they got to deal with the defending champs. I'm out on Memphis. I think that Marcus Smart brings them the leadership he brings them, but with that being said, I don't think that they're enough for Denver. I think Denver handles them tomorrow night.
And we do have 5 more minutes left, 6 more minutes, and we have a quick special guest I'm going to bring on just to say hello.
What's up?
You know him? Hello.
Tony Tone in the house.
We got
what I miss?
What's up, brother?
Are you in the airport right now? Or that's a hotel?
Look like he's in a hotel.
I'm getting back to my room right now.
Yeah, looks like he's in a hotel. We held it down for you, Tony Tone. We got you, brother.
Fluent, how are your Lakers doing tonight?
Probably gonna cut out.
Is AD gonna get his act together?
What do you mean? The defensive player of the year / MVP? Yeah, he'll be just fine.
Not according to the masses, Tone. He's washed. The Lakers are cooked. Anthony Davis is tradable. Trade him. Move off of Anthony Davis. If you let the masses tell it, Tone, that's what's going on.
Shouldn't you be more concerned? With the fact that your rookie phenom got outplayed by another rookie on the Mavs? If you're going to beat up on AD, you should be beating up on Wemby. What about KD? Could he have been more inefficient?
No.
That's not superstar status right there, you ask me.
It's true, and that's a great point. I think AD, he wasn't even bad. He had a great first half, just none in the second half. But why are we talking about that? Like, why are we talking about KD, Jay? Why is no one talking about KD? He had an off night.
The reason why ain't nobody talking about KD is because people don't want to accept the reality that KD isn't what he used to be. You know, when KD's healthy, he's still the best scorer in the game. You know, when KD is healthy, he's still a top 5 player. But he's not that dude like that anymore. He is not. I'm not saying that he's not fantastic, because he still is.
Yeah.
But he's not KD from Golden State. In the last 4 years, since the 1920 season, 1920, 2021, 21-22, 22-23. In the last 4 years, KD averages 34 games per season. He is breaking down. Unfortunately, this is what happens to guys when they enter their mid-30s. They start to slow down. They might be effective in other ways, which is what I think KD is going to be.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be effective.
Too. Like,
I just feel like he's going to be effective in other ways. I think he can do other stuff. Like he can rebound more, right? I feel like he can. I feel like he can rebound more. I feel like he can be more of a rim protector. I feel like he can do all of those things in addition to scoring. The idea that KD is still going to be 29, 30 a game, still.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man. I think that's putting a lot on it. I do.
Fluent, any quick predictions? We got Suns Lakers tonight. Who are you hoping to see show up, and who do you have with the win?
I'd like to see Bradley Beal play a game.
That would be nice, Tone. You know what? I'm glad you brought that. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it?
Didn't they bring him into play? Like, is he already?
100% confident they didn't bring him. Tony did not bring him on the crew for him to sit on the bench. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, so I'd love to see what Bradley Beal looks like, because when I look at that first game, right? Okay, KD, all jokes aside, KD underperformed. You know, he was inefficient.
Yeah.
Booker did a good job of facilitating, but they both put up over 20 field goal attempts.
Yeah.
Well,
and those will hit.
They can't do that with Beal. Where are those going to come out of it? Do they both, like, Beal's going to take 15? Well, if they took 45 and he takes 15 of those away, there's only 30 left. So they each 3 of them shoot 15 each. I don't know. Is that an effective way for Booker and KD and Beal to play? Like, that's the problem with this team. It was the same thing that I told you guys with the Nets when KD and Kyrie went. There's only one ball, right? Yeah. They could only jack up so many shots. So I think I want to see how he fits into that, how they're playing.
I feel like it's almost like I don't know what to call it, but like a safety net of sorts, because it's almost guaranteed at some point, with KD's age or Devin's history of injury, probably they're going to have somebody, miss a good amount of time. But you have Bradley Beal coming off the bench, not coming off the bench, but you have somebody to come in and fill in those gaps. And so maybe it was almost like, let's risk it and have somebody that will always have to come in and take that load off if they need to. I don't know. It's an interesting.
My prediction, of course, is the Lakers winning.
Okay. By how much?
75. No. I think it's a close game. I think you're going to see AD come out way more aggressive, especially in the fourth quarter. Don't be surprised if he has a lackluster first 3 quarters, because he got beat up so much for going 0 for 6, not taking enough shots. I think what you're going to see is LeBron early, and I think you're going to see AD late.
Okay. And last thing, Sebastian sent in a super chat, said, hey guys, Dame looks great going to Dallas versus Rams.
Nice. I like it.
Nice.
Thank you for the super chat. And yes, I want to actually go finish up and watch this game. So we're going to sign off. But Fluent, thanks are you having a good trip? How's it been? How's Cali over there?
It's been a great trip. Unfortunately, I had some meetings that ran exceptionally long.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be back for the last hour. I got back for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The good news was that didn't happen with his Fluent top 10. At least I got you two on here.
Yeah.
Right. I got back in time for his Fluent top 10, which was a great episode, by the way. I don't know if you saw it, the 6 AI generated top 10s. But yeah, no, I'll be back. I'll be back home.
Hey H, this AI and the stuff is I'm trying to get on board, but it's really freaking me out, yo.
It's been 5 months since we started really talking. Look how much it's already gotten out of control.
I'm good, yo.
Oh, yeah.
How much longer you out there for, Tom?
I go back home on Sunday.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I'm home Monday, Tuesday. I'm back on the road Wednesday, Thursday. And then I'm home again on Friday. So just bouncing all over right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, we are going to check out. We've got football on. We got some good games on. So whatever you're going to watch, I hope you enjoy. And we do appreciate all of you guys supporting us. Please get those likes up and share with a friend if you enjoyed today's stream. And always leave us a comment. But for now, we're going to sign off. Jay.
Take it light, but take it.